नमस्कार, मैं सीमा धनोत और स्वागत है आपका मेरे चैनल पे। फिलहाल मैं खड़ी हूँ प्रेमनगर चौधरी बंसीलाल विश्वविद्यालय में और मैं यहाँ की स्टूडेंट हूँ एनसीए डिपार्टमेंट की। और आज हमारे यूनिवर्सिटी में यानी कि विश्वविद्यालय में इंटरनेशनल साइंस वर्कशॉप का आयोजन हुआ था। प्रोफेसर सुरेश मलिक जी, इनसे हम बात करते हैं। नमस्कार सर।
जी नमस्कार।
स्वागत है आपका आज के कार्यक्रम में जो हुआ था इंटरनेशनल साइंस वर्कशॉप में। तो सर उसके बारे में आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
तो किसी भी विश्वविद्यालय का मेन पर्पज यही होता है कि वो विभिन्न तरीकों से और बच्चों को कोई न कोई किसी न किसी रूप में शिक्षित करते रहे। हमारे यहाँ भी सबसे जो मैं आपको बताना चाहूँगा कि मेन फोकस ये है कि एक्सपीरियंस्ड लोगों से किस प्रकार से कैसे सीखा जाए और लर्निंग प्रोसेस को कैसे बढ़ाया जाए। इस इंटरनेशनल वर्कशॉप का बेसिक पर्पज भी यही है कि कैसे खेल खेल के माध्यम से, या हम ये कहें कि किस प्रकार से विदाउट बुक्स कैसे हम शिक्षा ग्रहण करें और कैसे लर्न करें, कैसे
खेल खेल में विज्ञान सीखे। ये था आज का उनकी इसकी थीम ये थी कि खेल खेल में विज्ञान सीखे।
चौधरी बंसीलाल विश्वविद्यालय लगातार इसमें प्रयासरत है कि बच्चे ज्यादा से ज्यादा एक्सपीरियंस बेस के ऊपर लर्निंग करके आगे वो उसको अपने जीवन में इम्प्लीमेंट करें कि कैसे हमें आगे बढ़ना है। क्योंकि आज का जो युग है वो बेसिकली हमें पता है कि जॉब सीकर्स में जॉब क्रिएटर का युग है। क्योंकि आप ज्यादा से ज्यादा अच्छे से अच्छे जॉब क्रिएटर बनेंगे तो निश्चित रूप से है आपके कैपेबिलिटी जो है वो बढ़ेगी और देश को प्रगति की तरफ ले जाएगी।
Gustavo Sanchez from University of Geneva, Italy. He will be having a talk in the evening. And all deans, all HODs, all my dear colleagues, my fellow maybe students हैं, all these students, participants, principals, and everyone. So it's my great pleasure and honor to welcome you all on this exciting international workshop on learning science with fun, a way forward towards experiential learning. So basically, in this workshop, we have received about 500 registrations. About 60 different institutions we have got registration all across our country and abroad. So looking at the students' active participation in the learning process, this is the need of the hour to shift from rote learning to experiential learning. So for which we are here today to explore how learning science can be not only engaging and fun but also deeply meaningful and impactful for students of all ages. Through this workshop, we aim to explore innovative strategies that can bring science to life in the way that are hands-on and exciting. Experiential learning is at the heart of this approach, where learners don't just study theories and
Dear audience, today we have the honor of having the esteemed presence of Professor N.L. Sharma as the guest of honor and keynote speaker of the inaugural address. But before I invite Professor Sharma for today's address, let me take this opportunity to introduce him to my audience. Dr. N.L. Sharma, Dr. Natilal Sharma, completed his MSc in 1967 from Holkar Science College, Indore, and joined as a junior research fellow at IIT Delhi. In 1968, he moved to University of Rajasthan as a lecturer and taught microwave electronics, nuclear physical lab, and quantum fields and particles. In 1978, he moved to Ohio University, USA, for PhD studies, and in 1982 to University of Georgia for postdoctoral work. From 1987 to 2019, he served as a professor of physics and director of newly developed Modern Optics Lab at Eastern Michigan University, USA. His research overlaps theory and experiment, which is quite uncommon. His latest research, Professor N.L. Sharma from Michigan University. So it's a privilege to be an audience to your enlightened talk.
Building blocks of nature. Now, in Greek, the word physics means nature. And so physics is really study of the laws of nature. Now, nature is made up of two kinds of fields, quantum fields, and their excitations called fermions and bosons. Bosons and fermions after an Italian physicist, Fermi. Fermions have spin half and they are massive particles. They have rest mass. Bosons have integral spin, that is 0, 1, 2, and they have no mass. They have no rest mass in the bound form. And they are dispersed in space and changing with time. Nothing is stationary in the world. Everything is changing, and that's what keeps the world going. So, what is a particle? A particle has different way to experimentalists and to the theoreticians who work in that field. So, for people who work in quantum mechanics, the particle is a collapsed wave function. We will talk more later, but let me just go through. Collapsed wave function means when you are not observing a particle, then it's kind of distributed in space. It's not confined to one point. It's kind of distributed in space. But when you observe it, it collapses to just one point, one position, as you see there. So, this is a fundamental concept in quantum mechanics, that what you are going to observe, when you do observe it, you don't find what it used to be before the observation. So, it's a kind of breakdown of reality. Okay? What you are going to observe is, you don't find that on observation. It projects itself according to the circumstances presented. Excited states. Vacuum state, perfect silence. No disturbance at all. But when it starts, because of whatever, dropping the barrel or other fluctuations, when it starts oscillating, that is the excitation of the field, and that takes the form of a particle. With this strip, you take a strip and give it the pole, and then join the two ends. It's called Mobius band or Mobius strip. So if you take an arrow and start from a point, any given point, and go through this strip, okay, and you come back after 360 rotation, as you see, it comes back here. Started in this orientation, but it goes through all, it comes back and comes opposite. It changes the sign. So, fermion wave function, which is inside the nucleus. Remember, I talked about the quarks, up quark, down quark. Those inside a proton, the two ups and one down, these quarks, they exchange gluons. Through the exchange of these gluons, they are tied, pegged as neutron or proton or pion and so on. There are vector bosons, another particle bosons, but they participate only in situations where particles are not stable. Some particles have larger mass, they can decay into smaller particles, and they are that exchange. Cloud is pressing on the electron cloud of the floor, and unlike like charges repel, unlike attract. Those electrons from the floor are repelling my electrons in my shoe sole this way. We call it in 10th, 11th grade, 12th grade physics, we call it normal force. But where it's coming from? Electromagnetic force, deep down. Okay? Okay? Quantum mechanics comes into play there as well. Okay, Pauli exclusion principle. Two electrons, two fermions can't come, you can't put them on top of each other. You can't bring them too close. They avoid, fermions avoid, try to condense, come together. That's why we have superconductivity. Bose-Einstein condensation. They are bosons, they are spin-one particles. They try to come together. They try to come in same state as one particle is. Another will come. The probability of coming third will increase even more. When 3 are there, the probability will become proportional to square root of 4. When 4 are there, the probability will become proportional to 5. So as you get more and more, the probability of getting more goes on increasing. That's how even at gas density, where atoms are far apart, even at gas density, they can condense. Bose-Einstein condensation is condensation at the normal gas density where particles are far apart. Initial helium condensation was a little different, okay, because there helium is a liquid, molecules are very close together. But the Bose-Einstein condensation, which was discovered much later, that's condensation at gas density, because of course you have to cool them down, okay, to low temperature, but then they, because of this property of bosons, that they try to come in the same state, and the lowest state is ground state, so they all come to the ground state, minimum energy state.
Good afternoon to all. On this very important international workshop and presence of Professor Dipti Dirmani, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Professor N.L. Sarma ji, who has enlightened us in many things you might not be knowing. But the way he explained, he elaborated, it makes some sense. I'm not a person from physics, but I was able to understand what he has told. So that's the power of experience learning. And Professor Y.K. Vijayji, former Honorable Vice Chancellor of Jaipur University. Then we have with us Dr. Rahul Tripathi ji, who is the registrar of this university, Dr. Vipin Jain ji, who is convener of this workshop, Madan, I think he has left. Dear participants, students, all teaching, non-teaching, and whosoever connected with this workshop. I take this opportunity to thank Professor Dipti Dirmani that you invited me for this very important international workshop. And again, as the topic is very interesting, learning science with fun, a way forward toward experience learning. And we have seen the inauguration of lab again by Professor Y.K. Vijayji. It was really interesting, and you can easily learn the things which simply, if you don't have that type of facility, I don't think you will be able to learn those things. That is the real problem with our students, particularly from the rural background. They hardly understand the things, the principles, because the particle size atoms are so tiny, and in your real life you hardly knows about those principles, and I think that will be helpful for our students. As you know that experience learning is deeply embedded in India's rich tapestry of knowledge and culture, find its essence beautifully articulated in the words of visionaries, educators, and thought leaders. Promote professional skills and knowledge through hands-on experience to build confidence and ability to work in project mode, to acquire enterprise management capabilities, and produce degree holders, professionals who could anticipate and analyze real life work and field problems and provide solutions. If I have to talk about the role of a teacher also. What a teacher can do. In experience learning program, the teacher guides the student rather than directly learning process where students are naturally interested in learning. The teachers perform the role of facilitator and guide the student for acquiring step by step knowledge crucial to experience learning. And the approach is he will approach the learning experience in a positive and non-dominating way. Second, identify an experience in which student will find interest and be personally committed. Then explain the purpose of experience learning situation to the student, share the experiences and thoughts with the students, provide relevant and meaningful resources to help students and discover learning. Student has to play some role in this entire program. The qualities of experience learning are those in which students decide themselves to be personally involved in the learning experience. Students are actively participating in their own learning and have a personal role in direction of learning. Students are not completely left to teach themselves. However, the instructor assumes the role of guide and facilitate the learning process, involve themselves in practical and social problems, work freely in the classroom and make headway in the learning process, involve themselves in difficult and challenging situations, self-evaluate your own progress or success in the learning process. And what are the benefits of this entire process? Can we think about that? So, one of the main issues students today confront is making ends meet in today's economy, paying for one's tuition fee, school supplies, and other necessities can be challenging. That's why having a steady source of income can be a great way to cover costs. In addition, having additional income allows students to not only pay for their needs but also save some funds for the future. State level. Then they go for service, they earn some money, then they go for the education, and again they earn money. So you will grow. In our system, it's little bit different. That we complete PhD, then we aspire for assistant scientist job or assistant professor job, and we are linked only to the service sector. But that is not the way. I think now the time has come. We have to diversify this, and in that case, experience learning can play a great role. Having a job adds to one's work experience and a part of besides seeking theoretical knowledge, while college education, a practical understanding of any field is also essential. While working in a professional environment, a student is forced to experience those things, and up to marketing, they can go for that. They can spend 1 hour in one day for this purpose, and for one full year, final year students, they have been given this activity. We give 50,000 consistency to them for purchase of raw material for this purpose. So I was again seeing your lab, over where I was thinking that it should be a free lab. Students can come at any time. You provide some material. If they have some idea, they can go for that. That will be the real help to the students, and they can do it. We have a ELP on product design and digital embroidered home furnishings, because we have a department in home science or in community science for this purpose, so they can go for that. Even the utilities or the services they can supply to universities itself. If I have a guest house, I need some embroidery work at our, you can say, bed sheets. Our students can do it. We can pay for that. And the 100% of it goes to our students. We are not charging anything. The other labor and everything is again provided by us. So that is a win-win situation for the students also and for the university also.
Thank you so much, sir, for gracing this occasion with your honored presence. I once again request Madam Vice Chancellor, and I request Dr. Anil Sharma. Again, I request convener and registrar of the university to present. So we hope that these memories, these cherished memories, stay with you forever. Thank you so much.
तो अब हमारे साथ हमने जो पीछे सुरेश मलिक जी से बात की थी, और मैं विजय जी और सर आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आज के जो कार्यक्रम हुआ इंटरनेशनल साइंस वर्कशॉप के बारे लिए। तो सर उसके बारे में आप क्या संदेश देना चाहेंगे?
देखिए, ये जो वर्कशॉप है ये बच्चों में एक जागृति है कि हम विज्ञान को कैसे सीखें, खेल खेल में, फन के साथ और जिज्ञासु होकर। तो उस उद्देश्य से ये वर्कशॉप रखा गया है। हम जयपुर से आए हैं, राजस्थान विश्वविद्यालय में कार्य करते रहे, और जो कुछ भी हमने सीखा वह एक अभी इंटरनेशनल IIS यूनिवर्सिटी है जिसमें हम विज्ञान को रुचिकर वे में कैसे सिखाएं। तो उसका एक सेंटर है, सेंटर फॉर इनोवेशन साइंस टीचिंग, उसमें हम कार्य कर रहे हैं। और यहाँ हमने इंडियन एसोसिएशन ऑफ फिजिक्स टीचर्स के साथ मिलके एक इनोवेशन लैब बनाई है। उस इनोवेशन लैब में करीब 40-50 मॉडल्स हैं साइंस के। तो वो साइंस के फंडामेंटल साइंस के प्रिंसिपल, जो एटॉमिक इंटरैक्शन, फोर्स, उनका डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, प्रोपोगेशन, इन सारी चीज़ों को बताता है, वो हमने यहाँ भी उस तरह की लैब बनाई, जो कि अब भिवानी यूनिवर्सिटी है, चौधरी बंसीलाल यूनिवर्सिटी, ये भी इसकी भागीदारी होगी। उससे क्या फ़ायदा है? उससे ये फ़ायदा होगा कि यहाँ के जो बच्चे विज्ञान के क्षेत्र में रुचि रखते हैं वो इन प्रयोगों से फंडामेंटल साइंस के प्रिंसिपल करके देखेंगे, होते हुए देखेंगे, खेल खेल में सीखेंगे, जिससे उन्हें जो विज्ञान का विषय है, जटिल है, वह सरल लगेगा और चीज़ें समझ में आएगी तो उनकी रुचि जागृत होगी, उनको अच्छा लगेगा। और पढ़ने में एक जो निराशापूर्ण स्थिति रहती है कि हम पढ़ते भी जा रहे हैं, नौकरी नहीं मिलती, ऐसी सिचुएशन नहीं होगी। क्योंकि आप कोई भी काम यदि एक इच्छा से करते हो तो वो अच्छा लगता है तो उससे क्रिएटिविटी निकलती है, और फिर आपके भी इनोवेटिव आइडिया उसी तरह से डेवलप होते हैं, वो सोसाइटी में यूज़फुल होते हैं। तो हम कोई भी प्रयोग करें, जैसे अभी हमें बताया गया कि यहाँ पानी की समस्या है, तो पानी की समस्या है तो उसका सॉल्यूशन आप करके देखोगे तभी निकलेगा। दिस इज कॉल्ड एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग। तो उसका पानी निकाल के उसको एवोपरेट करके देखो कि उसमें कौन कौन सी इम्प्योरिटीज़ हैं, उनको हम कैसे कम कर सकते हैं, और फिर हम प्योर कर सकते हैं, ड्रिंकेबल कर सकते हैं, कंस्ट्रक्शन के लिए काम में ले सकते हैं, एग्रीकल्चर के लिए आसपास काम में ले सकते हैं। तो इस तरह से हम जहाँ तक प्रयोग करके नहीं देखेंगे, एक्सपीरियंस नहीं करेंगे, वहाँ तक हमारी शिक्षा का महत्व सोसाइटी में पता नहीं लगेगा। जब सोसाइटी में शिक्षा का महत्व पता नहीं है तो फिर बच्चे हताश होते हैं। तो यदि शिक्षा रुचिकर हो, खेल खेल में सीखे, मज़ा आए, तो वो सोसाइटी के लिए कुछ कर पाएंगे और उन्हें शिक्षा का महत्व पता लगे, जिससे वो सोसाइटी के लिए कुछ कर पाएंगे। तो हमारी कोशिश ये है कि इस वर्कशॉप में जितने भी भागीदार आए हैं, पार्टिसिपेंट आए हैं, उनको इन जो हमने प्रयोग डेवलप किए उनके बारे में जानकारी दें। तो ऐसे प्रयोग आप भी कर सकते हैं। तो हमने पूरी लैब सेट कर दी है ऑलरेडी, जो देखिए, समझिए और यूज़ कीजिए। हमारी आशा है कि इस तरह के वर्कशॉप से एक शिक्षा में नई जागृति आएगी। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद सर, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद जो इतनी अच्छी बात हमें बताई, और आगे भी विज्ञान में बच्चे खेल खेल में कैसे सीखेंगे उसके बारे में हमें बताया, और अभी बता रहे जो लैब भी स्टार्ट होने जा रही है। तो देखते हैं बच्चे कैसे सीखते हैं। और सर का आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद जो हमें इतनी अच्छी बात बताई। धन्यवाद।